Wow. Sure. Let me explain where I am, and then we'll go back to where it all began. Okay.
Yeah.
So I practice in Westwood, Massachusetts, with my wife, Dr. Patricia Giuliano. We have a home office practice. Home offices are really, really common in the Northeast, virtually non-existent in the West Coast, and yet smutterings of them here and there throughout the country. We see a lot of families. Most of the people who come in for care come into my office. The same reason why they go to any other chiropractor's office is they want to be helped with some sort of a health issue. We do a very good job when people begin care at explaining the benefits of having a healthy spine. And people begin to understand that a healthy spine is part of being connected to a healthy life. And the damage can occur to the spine sometimes at a very, very young age, very often even at the birth process. So many of our patients then choose to bring in their children. And we have a lot of children that come into the office. About 30% of our practice is under the age of 15. Lots of babies, lots of newborns. I'm going to say one of the things that I love doing is having a mom hand me their baby. And I look at the mom and I said, this is how big you were when you got your first adjustment. So it means I've been in practice a long time, but I love people being under care. I believe that the place that I live in is that every spine should get checked and adjusted as needed on a regular basis. I know I get my spine checked every week. My family gets their spine checked every week. I believe that everybody benefits by making sure that their spine is free of nerve interference on a weekly basis. In that vein, we have about 200 members of our practice that have been under care for over 20 years. So one of my greatest claims to fame is that people understand chiropractic well enough in my practice that they stay under care for a long period of time. So a good percentage of my practice are people who come into the office, gotten their spine checked regularly, brought their children in on a regular basis. So that's my practice. I've been very involved in the profession. I teach for the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association, which is one of the largest member organizations in the entire world. We brought together people from virtually every school, every country, every technical aspect under the umbrella of family wellness care. I've been teaching for them for about 20 years. I've been president of their board of directors for about 10 years. So I'm very, very proud of that. I've been involved in other areas of the profession. I've served on the board of my state society. My wife and I started a philosophy group here about 35 years ago. It's one of the longest continually running philosophy groups in the world. I've been chairman of the board of Sherman College. Did that for about 8 years. So I've done lots of different things. But let's go back to where it all started. I remember being a chiropractic patient. I went to the chiropractor for a variety of reasons, one more out of curiosity than anything else. And I would go to this old-time chiropractor, a very heavy adjuster, and it seemed to me what he was doing was so haphazard. And one day, I'm on the table and go, boom, 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 adjusting me. And I turn around and look at him, and Dr. C, that's what I called him, Dr. Cordima. I said, do you know what you're doing? Because it just seems so haphazard. He says, no, boom, boom, boom. And he gets off the table and says, you don't know what you're doing? And he says, I don't, but your body does. And it really opened the door at that time for me to hear something that changed my life. He says, Peter, I know that what I am doing is allowing your body to function without interference. What I don't know is what your body is going to do with that. He said, when your body's without interference and it works better, I don't know if it's going to help you get over a cold, help back pain get better, help you do better in school, help you sleep better. What I do know is that a body without nerve interference is magical. And he walked out of the room. That conversation changed my life because he said, boy, that's the most honest answer any doctor has given me. He wasn't trying to treat, cure, or fix anything. What he was trying to do was allow my body to be in a better state so it could treat, cure, and fix what it needed to do in its life. So every time I would ask more and more questions. I decided I want to go to chiropractic school. I was in engineering school at the time, completed my engineering education, then went to Palmer College, 1979. My first quarter, I remember sitting there with 168 other people, and a person comes, the first day in chiropractic school is the day they collate you. You know, the registrar comes and you learn where your locker is and you learn where your classes are and you meet your instructors. But they had people come from various clubs that were on campus. Somebody comes from the Philosophy and Communications Club at Palmer College back then and gets up and does a lay lecture. Basically a talk that a doctor would do for their patients, explaining chiropractic from A to Z. That 20 minutes changed my life. It was the first time that I actually heard the chiropractic story from start to finish, understanding that health is more than feeling good. Health is the body that's working right. Understanding that life is what creates health. In the same way that 2 half cells make a new human being in 9 months, that force that allows life to create new life is the same force that heals you, that mends you, that allows the body to work at its potential. And to understand that life uses the brain, the spinal cord, and the nervous system to control the function of everything that happens inside the body. And things can happen that damage those nerves, that interrupt those signals of communication, that cut off the brain's ability to perceive the body and to be able to regulate its function. And what chiropractors do is they analyze the spine to find those areas of interference that we call a subluxation, adjust those subluxations, and allow the life that made that body to function properly, heal the body, and allow the body to do the things it needs to do in its lifetime. And as the person did that talk, it hits me. I said, damn, if my parents had heard that story when I was a baby, I would have had the benefit of chiropractic care from birth. So I made a commitment to myself at that moment that I was going to learn how to effectively communicate the story of chiropractic. And if everybody could understand what I understood at that moment, that they'd want chiropractic care for themselves and their families. So that began my journey. I went to chiropractic school, learned all that I could in technique and philosophy and all the sciences and the things you need to do to graduate. Got out into practice, and I basically grabbed my spine and started telling people the story. And once people heard it, they said, gee, this makes sense. I want to get my spine checked. So that's how my journey began.